Hi, my people. So it's Aaron Itende. So these are the things you have to expect at the interview, Dvlottery interview. Let's say most of the visa interview, if it's American visa interview, and some of the questions you're gonna hear them from my video. So if when you're going for your interview, first of all, beside that, you have to be there on time. It's like any other interview when you're going for work interview. Be there on time, keep time, arrange your documents fully well, and be ready. Don't stop being nervous. I know you will be a little bit nervous. Okay, so at the interview, Dvlottery interview, expect the consular to have all your documents, because when you're getting in, you presented them to him and you paid for that interview $330. Your documents and your medicals, your consular has them. And one more thing, before you did your interview, remember you did your medicals. You paid something like $200 and beyond for your vaccination. So they vaccinated you and they made sure that you are eligible to come to America. You don't have TB, you don't have COVID, you don't have dangerous viruses. So now you're in front of the consular, and the consular is ready to give you that interview. So these are some of the questions. So the consular will ask, you will come in front of the consular and he will ask you, hi Samuel. You reply to him. Some of the tips I can give to you: don't talk too much, be brief, because the consular is also brief. He will ask hi. Then he will ask you your names. Maybe he will ask, please introduce yourself. You can say, I'm Aaron. You can give him all your names, because he's trying to know that this person coming for interview is the person you are. He's not there to deny you, so he's just trying to know if you are the one. So you have to introduce yourself. Don't be mean like, you have my document. No. So what happened is, the consular will ask you, are you Mr. So and so? You reply yes. Can you tell me about yourself? What do you do for a living? So you will mention, if you're a carpenter, you will mention, what is your highest level of education? You'll say high school or degree. Then he will ask you, have you ever been behind the law or on the other side of law, or have you ever been arrested or committed any crime? You will say no. Then, have you ever been into any other country rather than your country for more than 6 months? If yes, you have to present. He will ask you if you committed any crime there. Then you will say no. Then he will ask about your work. What do you do for a living? You will mention. For some people, he will ask you, like, what are the objectives of your work? And then he will ask if you have ever used public funds for your benefit. He will ask such questions, and he will further go on asking about your kids, about your family, if you have ever, if you have kids, and what are they, either you brought them or not. He will ask you. He will ask things like, if you have a spouse, he will ask about your spouse. Do you have a spouse? Do you have someone? Because he needs to know if you have a spouse, which you will mention. If you brought your spouse, the counselor will turn to your spouse and they will ask your spouse what she does for a living, what are her names, what is her level of education. Remember, other details like where do you live, the counselor might ask you. He might ask about, for example, if you have a spouse, he will ask questions like, when did you meet? How did you meet? If the counselor sees like there is something missing between, there is some details missing between you and your spouse, or you're lying, the counselor might tell you to move a little bit far so he can ask your spouse alone. Because the counselor needs to understand that this is a genuine relationship. First of all, before you going, if you have a spouse, you have to present photos of your relationship, showing your memories together. Photos, not on your phone, but physical photos. So if there is something lacking, the counselor might ask you to move a little bit far. Then the counselor will ask your spouse questions to see if she is lying. And then the counselor will ask you to come over and you ask your spouse to move a little bit behind. Then the counselor will ask her too. That is for those who are married. So if you have kids, the counselor will ask, what is the birthday of your kids? What are the names of your kids? When did you give birth to them? He or she might ask about where they studied, how far have they gone with their studies, and where do they live? Do they live with you? So, some of the reasons why the counselor deny people are missing information, lying, no evidence. If you don't have evidence about some information, they might deny you a visa. If your names are not the same names on your document, if there is missing information, for example, names, if the names on your documents there is missing information, or they are not the same as names on your credentials, are not the same on your travel document, then if there is some missing document, that's how the counselor will deny you, or he will ask you to go and present more information. Other things like your children, if the kids, any kid is not yours, you will be denied a visa. If you brought your brother's kid and you're saying they are your kids, if you did not bring your kids, when you said you're traveling with your kids and one or two kids are missing, your children are missing, the counselor will deny you. Unless you said you'll be traveling with them at a later date, they'll be joining you later, that is okay. But if you say they're traveling with you and there is missing information, then you might end up losing your visa for that. Yeah. Another thing, if you have ever committed a crime, you might lose your visa. Guys, this is Dvlottery American visa. Dvlottery American visa in particular. And other reasons why you might be denied a visa is not having education. Not having education certificate, especially high school. High school is the most necessary education needed. And why? Because here in America, to get work, you have to have a high school. That's why it's the most necessary needed education level of education. Okay, guys, those are some of the reasons why you might be denied a visa. Uh, some of the tips I can give to you is be well organized, look straight into the consular's eyes, stop being nervous, don't over explain, be brief, and know your information, know your DS260 information, know your information. Go through videos like this one on YouTube, on TikTok. Go through questions, find someone to ask about how the interviews are held. Go through the restrictions and information of your American embassy from your region. Everything will be all right when you're prepared. See you guys. I love you guys. It's Aaron Intende. I have videos on TikTok and on YouTube. Please go there and watch them.